Hey everybody, Weem here, and welcome to Planet Explorer Build Days. This is a series of videos, or will be a series of videos, that I basically jump into Planet Explorers, into the build mode, build something a little crazy, some kind of vehicle or something along those lines, and then we just kind of test it out and see what kind of wackiness ensues. Now, with all of that said, this very first episode of Build Days is actually going to be a little bit different. So in this one, we're actually in story mode. We're right here in the middle of the current series that I have going on, where I've just started kind of working on the house. So those of you who've been watching the series have seen me kind of explain what was going on back here, but I am going to run through it again really quick for those that are new to all of this. Now, right now we're on an island here, and I've decided to set up shop here, and I thought I would get a house built, and as part of that I started laying out the foundation of, well, the foundation. The foundation of the home, but particularly the edges along the water. As you can see, I've got a pool down there, and we have this kind of what's going to be a deck that's going to run around the front of the house. And I've kind of got the little walls up here. These are going to be entryways, doorways essentially. And for those who watch the series, I still needed to dig all of this out, but I've actually gone ahead and done that. I was actually very quick with a shovel. So anyway, that pretty much catches you up where we were left off at in the series, and now we're going to pick up the building here. And for a little bit of background, I considered doing the building in that series, starting with what would be episode 7, I believe. But I thought I would kind of break this out because some people wanted varying levels of building. Some wanted it sped up, some wanted to watch the whole thing, and I thought, you know what, I've been wanting to do this build series where I jump into build mode, as I said before, and experiment a bit. But I think we will open up the series by working on the house here. So let's get to that. Now I've got the stone down here. This is just standard stone for the floor, so I think I need to fill in the rest of this area with stone as well. So we'd be looking at the number 3 slot there, and let's see, we actually could go free mode and just kind of float over here. Something like this, and drag this guy out, and then we can just kind of pan back here. It won't let me go all the way. There is kind of a limit to what it lets you do. So there's that chunk. And let's see, that would be the rest right there. Easy enough. So we've got the floor in. Now, I don't know if the building is going to be straight along here, if I'm actually going to, you know, have a wing kind of wrap around over this side, maybe, and go back a little bit. I think that might be kind of cool. But for now, we're going to stick to this. Now, one of the things, additionally, I was thinking of doing was if I built the house back far enough, I'm seeing this floating chunk of land. Probably can't reach that. You see it in the sky there. Probably, can I reach that? Can I get under it? I guess I'm under it now, and no. Maybe if I jumped. Oh, there we go. Oh, nope, it ended up scooping out of the ground. Anyway, we can kind of take that out later, but distracted by dirt. Anyway, one of the things I was thinking about doing was if I brought the house back far enough, I could actually make an entryway and kind of tunnel into the hill back there. It might be kind of cool. I could even go down a little bit and have an underground bunker under the island. In fact, now that I think about it, I could then tunnel from the top down in, and that could be the helicopter pad. Huh. That might be kind of cool. Anyway, that's a lot of work. That'd be a lot of digging, and that's something we can take care of later. One of the first things that I want to do is get the walls up. And if we go back to build mode, we've got limestone here in the number 4 slot, which is actually what I started doing for walls here. So I think what I'm going to do is carry this around this side, some along the other side, and raise it up. Actually make the walls. And I may end up going with wood after this top layer, kind of let the bottom layer be stone like this and then do wood across the top. But anyway, I'm going to experiment a little bit with that. We can actually do that here really quick. I just want to see what that will look like. And just finish this part here. Something like that. So let's see. Wood is 8. And if we did this, this is kind of what I'm thinking. Let's see. Should have done shift there. Something along those lines. It's very similar to the, obviously because it's wood, it's similar to the deck, and I'm not sure I like the similarity there. Let's do this. Control Let's see, shift. I'm going to take that out. The other thing too is I wanted these to be windows here, so let's actually take a look at that. Now what I had in mind, I was kind of thinking, let's see, these door frames would be here as well. And then we could do something where every, you know, that's 2, 3, 4 wide. Something like that. 2, 3, 4. And 2, 3, 4 wide. So these could be windows, and I actually like the idea of making these pretty tall, making the first floor have kind of a high ceiling. That might be kind of cool. Or maybe this portion of the building from here all the way over to the right is 1 floor, and over here it's kind of 2 floors. Something like that might be kind of cool. Then you could do like a deck on top of this thing. Yeah, we'll have to play around a little bit with that, but let's see. As far as measurements go, that's 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4. So that actually worked out pretty well. Came to the corner at the same point. So that could be kind of cool, and then we could just fill this guy in. Something like that. Actually, you know what? I think I do like this look, keeping it the limestone and not doing any wood, because we're just going to do glass. And when I say glass, I actually mean we'll just leave this open for a while anyway. So what I'm going to do is actually go around and fill in the rest of the walls like this, and maybe even cap it along the top where I think the ceiling will be. And we'll see how that looks. Okay, well, we've got all the windows and doorways in place. I made a couple adjustments. I'm using a different material here than the actual structure. I'm using stone, and I actually pulled these columns out and stood them off of the building. So just a kind of an interesting little treatment for the doors. We'll see what we can do here, but as far as, you know, making something look cool, that was kind of the idea, was to experiment a bit and see. So let's see here. If I let's see here. So you can rotate these guys around. So I was kind of thinking I would do some experimenting with the columns and basically make arches with these. So I might have to play around with that a little bit. But anyway, this is kind of the gist of it, where you've got the large opening here that just goes right out here to the water. Everything is windows down on the bottom level. And we'll see about actually putting glass in here. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we could experiment with that. I do have glass here, a good chunk of it. Let's see what that looks like in here. Get over there. There we go. So yeah, it's actually not bad. That's cool. I think that might actually be okay. So we'll probably make a bunch of glass at some point and fill these in. I wasn't sure how it was going to look once you got it in there large, but it's actually not very noticeable, so that's cool. So anyway, yeah, like I said, we've got the structure down here. I'm going to do a little bit of treatment up here as far as the structure goes, where it meets the roof, and lots of experimenting to do. Now, I am taking some inspiration from a couple photos I looked up, and so as far as kind of ideas for the deck, and kind of especially like how I have the pool here surrounding this building that I'm going to put in, I went online and looked up some photos of mansions with pools, things like that. It's kind of going for that vibe. So anyway, we're coming along pretty well here. Again, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with the back here. I don't really like the idea of this just being long and straight. Come to think of it, this side might be easier to dig out, so I could dig this out a bit. Maybe I could dig it out and come around or something. Maybe that might be kind of cool to surround all of this in the house as well, but I'm not entirely sure, because I could do it around the other side as well. But lots of stuff we can do here. I think what we might do, I was thinking I could start working on the ceiling, kind of connecting these areas, but I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to go about that yet. I do kind of like the idea of introducing wood here, so just to give you an example. Maybe I separate these a bit, and I'm going to take these down. This is just to give you, like I said, a quick idea. But I like the idea of having these kind of beams running across here that you can see on the inside. But even looking at this here, I think I want to make the ceiling much higher in here. In fact, it might be that this is kind of 2 floors just of open, you know, space, and this is just 1 floor with a roof and a deck or something on top. That might actually be how I end up approaching that as I undo these wood blocks there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that a bit. Now, of course, I do have the floor here is all of this solid stone. Over here I did wood in the center in the pool building out there. So I was kind of thinking, you know, I might try to do something in here, maybe some different kind of material. Looking at what we have here, let's see, we're already using the stone. The dirt doesn't look all that good. It's really shiny, and yeah, I'm not really into that so much. Maybe the sand doesn't look too bad. Let's kind of take a piece out of this, and let's see what that looks like. What was that, 7? Because we have a lot of sand, as you can imagine, digging all of this out. Huh. Yeah, it's all right. I think what it would need is some trim. I'm a big fan of trim, though, so let's see what that could look like. You know what? Maybe if we did wood trim in here, maybe that might be okay. Let's see what that looks like. Because right now this doesn't stand out from the stone that well. It's certainly different. Actually, that's not bad. That is not bad at all. We have 3 here, yeah, and 3 there. Huh. Maybe what I'll do is I will go around and fill in this whole area that way so I can see it. It won't take too long. In fact, we can just do that here. Let's see. Holding Alt and then Control to drag over to there. Let's see. That's 3 off. Yes. Alt Control. Something like this. We can just kind of fill this in here. Wrong button there. Okay. Something like that. And take out a big piece of this. What's my stone? 7. Huh. Yeah, that actually looks pretty cool. I actually like this better as a floor than the stone. But I do like coming in and then having this separated like this. So I think what I might do is go in and do this. I'll probably run this all the way back here and then all along this side, because we can tweak it if I end up building the room out a bit. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and fill the floor in, and then I'm going to experiment a little bit with how I might approach the ceiling. Alrighty, well, the floor has come a long way. I was kind of playing with different materials, and as you can see, I ended up doing a pattern here, kind of a repeating pattern that I think came out very cool. So we're going to kind of stick with that. I didn't really follow it along the backside once again because I'm not really sure how I'm going to handle that. Now, additionally, you'll see I've got some frameworks up here for kind of a frameworks, plural? No, framework. I have the framework up for a ceiling. And I was kind of judging sizes here, and as you can see, I've got a big W above the door. I thought that might be kind of cool. I don't know if we'll stick with that or not. We'll see. But I think what I will do is continue the kind of the ceiling along here in this fashion with the wood. At least I think that's what I'm going to do. And I might do that just back to here at some point, right along here. I'm not really sure. I kind of thought I was going to go straight up and in, and I still might. Actually, I did want to carry the windows up from there as well. So anyway, I may end up undoing some of this stuff, but I wanted to get an idea of, you know, how I might approach that. So that's going to be next on the agenda. I think that's what we'll jump into next, is probably taking this down and bringing the walls straight up, almost repeating this framework that's down here, except that it might be a little taller. Maybe it'll be this height, I'm not sure. It's already pretty tall. So I might do that again, I'm not really sure. We'll play with the height, but yeah, I think in the meantime we'll at least take the wood down. I think the W might have to stay for now. We'll see how that goes. Alrighty, well, we're back. I've got the frame on the upper levels up, and I think it looks pretty good. In fact, I had to go get some more material, and when I came back over, I ported across the way over there and took the helicopter over here, and it looked really cool flying in towards it. So anyway, now we need to, let's see, figure out the separation between this kind of bottom layer and the top layer that's much taller. Now I use the wood, and then I offset the stone. So what I'm thinking about doing is something along these lines and leaving the wood kind of in between there and not connecting these. Just let it kind of sit like that. Now, as far as physics go, that wouldn't fly. But as far as I'm concerned, excuse me, I think that would be okay. So let's see. I think if we do this, we'll experiment with one side of this first and kind of see what we're looking at. So I think that looks cool. And then on the inside, I was kind of thinking that we could do a kind of an upper walkway around this thing. Now, I was thinking that I wouldn't necessarily make this with the intention of walking around up there, but just kind of have that width there just to have it. And I could maybe place some things up there, various placeables. And if I'm doing something like that, it could be that we get in here and do something like this. Let's see, that doesn't look too bad. Another thing that we could do is, instead of doing it like that, we could do this. And then we could put the block underneath it. So something along those lines. That looks alright. And then we could do something on the bottom as well. Another idea I had was to wrap it. So if we kind of came around here, let's see. If we did it, I kind of like the idea of keeping it squared. Something like that. We'll kill this guy and see what this might look like. I was kind of thinking something like that. I actually really like the look of that. Additionally, oh, we got a visitor here checking out the house out there. I think we'll leave him alone. So additionally, what we could do is we could do some kind of support column if it's done this way. For example, I could do wood. Let's see if I get this lined up correctly here. Let's see. Something like this. That is not what I wanted either. Something like this. I could bring it to the floor. Yeah, I don't think that's terrible. I kind of liked the idea as well of putting some kind of frame down here, almost like something to hold this. If I use stone as an example here, do something like that. But I don't know, it does disrupt the pattern of the floor. I could do this every once in a while though. Like, I could do it in the corner over here, maybe. I don't know. It's not terrible, but it does use up a good chunk of the space, so I'm just not too sure about that yet. Go ahead and take this out. But I do kind of like the look of this here, where you've got it sticking out. I might have to use... could use some different material for that, I suppose. Like the stone. Something a little brighter so it kind of sticks out a little bit more. Let's see what that might look like. Get in here. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know about that. The idea is an interesting idea. I don't like how it bumps up against the other stuff, but we could do like marble right there. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I like to have trim. I like to have separation, a clear indicator when we're kind of going from one type of material to another. So that's one way to do it. If we did stone, the other thing we could do is pop these corners out. That looks kind of cool. I wonder what would happen if we carried this down. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit much. I do like having that effect right there, making it look like there's some kind of support holding the wood plank. And I wouldn't, yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't have to necessarily go all the way around. You know what I could do is I could do it right at the only at the entryways, like this doorway. Could do that. Let's see if we take this out. Try to take this stuff back out. Kill this. And then stone like this guy. Yeah, I could just do it at the doorway where it kind of makes sense. And then additionally, that's where I could do, I could actually have like the support beam come down, and then, but only at the doorways. We could stop this just shy of the floor as well. And do this. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm really that into this either. Let's see. I think for now what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and go all the way around with the wood, kind of like I've got it here, and also do the do this treatment on the outside. And so we've got this kind of trim around here. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead around the building and get everything set up that way. And once again, we'll see what it looks like at that point. Okay, well, as you can see, we've come pretty far along here. I've got the beams going, and I kind of thought about ending it there and doing maybe something a little different back here. I talked once before about having a deck up here. I'm thinking I might actually fill in this area with floor, and instead of like something like this, but instead of having it be open, obviously, I would have these walls, so it'd be kind of an observation-like style deck, but I mean enclosed within this entire building. So because I'm considering that, I'm kind of thinking about bringing these beams all the way over and really working to enclose this place. Carry that over, and you'll see I'm kind of making them stick out from the edge there a bit. I think that gives it kind of a cool look. I feel like I need to carry this over though. So let's see, although if I move this back, I like the beams lining up with the windows, or with the doorways and window kind of pillars, but because I have uneven widths for the doorways, I don't know, looks a little funny. But I think I might just have to live with that. Because if I separate, excuse me, if I separate all of the beams evenly, then they won't line up with those pillars. And I think that's kind of going to be the thing that really sticks out to me between the two options. Okay, what is going on here? There we go. That wood is not placing down. Oh, this doesn't quite line up over here, does it? That's interesting. Well, I think some of this stuff we're just going to have to say, yeah, you know what? It's just not going to line up without redoing a lot of the foundation down here. Before, when I built this side, I didn't anticipate it was going to come so far back over there, so I didn't quite account for all of this lining up as it probably should. Now, let's see. Yeah, these definitely are not lining up. I certainly could redo things over here with the pillars to make them line up. I would end up with some wider windows than I had planned. I guess that wouldn't be that big of a deal. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I think we'll leave it at that for now. Now, what I'm going to do back here is, I've been thinking about this, and I think I'm going to go ahead and run wall back here. When I say wall, I mean more of this type, the windows. And I'll end up digging this hill back. I have an idea about this area continuing all the way down, almost like a hallway, but it would have an open ceiling, and there'd be a doorway into the back of the building here. So anyway, that's kind of a little idea I've got going on. And then I was thinking I could try and tier some of this, kind of dig it at different levels, and then use walls to kind of set it up so it looks like it's been tiered, almost like a garden style. So I might play around with that a little bit as well. Yeah, but I'm definitely going to have to dig back a little bit more if I want to make the, if I want to come around with the pattern back here and everything. So there's still a good chunk of work to do. I think I might actually go ahead and get started on that though, because the more I look at this, the more I think that, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. But I really like how this is coming along. I think this is looking really cool. And if we kind of jump back into our character here, you can see this is quite large, quite a bit of space in here, and gotta love that W. Well, I think that just about wraps it up for this run of the very first build day. Now, obviously, we have more to do on the house, so I think what we'll do is we'll probably do another episode for a total of 2 on the house, and then I can clean up any details beyond that point throughout the series that's currently running. But we will do one more to finish up some more of the structural elements of the house, so stay tuned for that, coming in the very near future. Now, I'm going to actually jump into build mode and go into free mode, give you a bit of a fly around here. So we got the W, we have all of the second floor kind of framework up. The roof went up pretty well. I ended up putting glass on the top. Thought that would be kind of cool to let it be open. We've got a pattern in here, the angled pieces and all of that. I think it came out pretty well, actually. I'm really happy with it. If we can run inside here really quick and take a look at the handiwork. So we have the beams up there, which is exactly what I wanted to go for. I wanted them to be separate from the ceiling, so there was some added depth up there. I think that came out pretty good. So yeah, we're looking pretty sweet. I might throw in a pillar of some kind in here. I kind of like the idea of having a support that goes all the way up, but I'm not really sure. You know, I could do one kind of where I'm standing here and then one here, so just to kind of support the beams in some way, but I don't know, we'll see. There's a lot I could do there. And then we'll get in here with some furniture and everything like that, but that'll all take place later. What I need to be doing is finish out the back side back here, dig this out a bit so we can get a pathway up here. That's one of the things we'll do in the second build day. And I think once we get there and maybe do a little bit of kind of landscaping back here with this, I think that will be it. So like I said, we'll stick to 2 episodes of build days as far as this house goes. And I do hope you guys come back for more beyond that. Essentially the 3rd video and anything beyond that. Again, it's going to be jumping in and doing, each episode is going to be a different vehicle or a different weapon, and then running around and playing with it. So I hope you guys check in on those and hope you enjoy that. It sounds like a lot of you are looking for some build stuff, so I think that's a good way to get to it. And of course, in the meantime, if you haven't already checked out my Planet Explorer series, where this house we came to the island really to build the house, definitely check that out. I'll have a link down in the description and everything so you can catch up to this point if you haven't already. Please consider leaving a like if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.